for you to, in order to help you with your message, especially if you want to deliver your message to the new market, to unknown market, and you need to start with something. So today we have an excellent opportunity to share with you the insights, very simple steps about how to do communication abroad and what does it mean, because communication is a complex process, as you know, and it involves various stages. And as my interest is more about global sales, since it's my expertise, I wanted also to make and enrich this webinar with more of an expertise in communication area. And I'm super excited with Gunta, who is going to be our guest speaker today. Hi, Gunta. Thanks a
Hi,
lot for
hi.
joining.
Nice to be here.
Super. So feel free to ask questions to us. Feel free to share your ideas, your maybe questions. This will be webinar, a time and a place for you to gain some ideas for going forward. We are here to help you with that. All right, so let's start with our little agenda. And I want that we are as much as possible focused on the value, and our value that we are going to share with you will be focused around why we need to communicate, how we need to communicate, and how to make it well planned and arranged in order to avoid any type of misunderstandings, any type of misperceptions, because communication is about understanding, hearing each other, actively listening, and being able to answer to the expectations, and also be heard and hear the others. So that's why I will start with introduction, then go into communication plan in the new markets, why it is important, and then giving you very simple steps how to build your go-to-market strategy. Go-to-market strategy is something that I do on a daily basis in my career, basically building step-by-step actions for starting from zero awareness of my product in the new market till it becomes fully recognized and trusted product, service, and my brand is trusted. So I started to build this go-to-market strategy, let's say secret formula, already like 10-15 years ago, and now I'm happy to share it with you and help the other entrepreneurs, businesses, small, large, medium, to become efficient in this. And we have Gunta, who will share some secrets about how to make public relations involved in this process as efficiently as it can be, in order to enrich your communications with wider presence. And then summary and definitely questions and answers for you, since this is time for you. I will start a little bit why I'm here and why I want you to share information with you. Just because I have more than like 15 years experience in international sales. I started my career very, very early, even coming from the small town in Kraslova, which is like in the middle of the nowhere almost, but very targeted about going abroad, learning new countries, learning new cultures, languages. I speak 5 languages, so I really enjoyed the process of interconnection. So from early days, I moved to live and work from different countries, starting from Spain and then from Italy, and then I moved to international airline business, where I represented 12 markets at the same time. Representation meaning that I was building these strategies and also being active in presenting my market, making it visible, clear, sold, established in the new market. So thanks to me, airline has grown from zero awareness till really full representation in the new markets, 12 markets, as I mentioned. And gradually moving from aviation into IT industry, where I see how complex are the projects in IT business and how it is important to build trust, relationships, and being very focused on the client and also on the communication with the client, because the more you are experienced as the salesperson, the more you understand that the business is not only about strategies and methodologies, but it is about people and it's about communication, because communication is a key, and the main key to communication is building trust. So all these things come together, and I'm happy to also share my experience as a coach, where I coached more than like 500 companies globally, clients globally, and I'm really proud of that. That there are a number of companies that have gained such a great benefit and value from what I have shared with them based on my experience. I'm happy to be here with you as well. Yeah, you can see some of my biggest projects that are done here in Latvia, and also I have virtually done a lot of projects with IT companies. I'm very happy to be on the stage, so feel free to invite me, since I'm here to share with you my key, let's say, the challenge and also inner wish to share with you about more about strong communication, about global mindset, and being ready for cultures. So for different cultures, and intercultural communication is one of my key interests. So today we will combine this all together as one global sales and communication expertise together with go-to-market strategy and interculturality. So you have full pack, let's say, in order to move forward and start entering in the new markets. Yeah, so happy with my beautiful clients who are always happy also to share their knowledge. So what about you? Can you share with me in a chat, if that's possible, what about your experience in international market, and how do you usually manage markets? Do you have certain secret or formula how you enter in the new areas and how you manage those areas, how you manage communication, trust, and build relationships there? Yeah, so that would be great to see some answers in the chat. Yeah, Gunta, by the way, what is about your experience in global sales, or in global, let's say, or international markets? Which markets
Mhm.
are
Yeah,
proud
I
of?
have worked with many, well, not many, with few, but important brands which are working worldwide, such as Huawei. So I have this experience with communicating on daily basis with basically the whole world, including very interesting for me personally and different from European culture. It's Asian culture, and
Mhm.
as well with some companies who are focusing to like Europe, Western markets, and these cultures, which are also from us, coming from Latvia, which are similar to us, but still there are
Yeah.
some differences in communication. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope this
Absolutely,
also.
absolutely. Yeah. Then this topic is never ending. Talking about differences and why those differences are so important, because we definitely see that this is so exciting to see how different we are and how these differences make us even better in terms of innovation. We are more creative, we are more open for new opportunities once we meet people with different views, right, Gunta? Is it like something that opening us a lot of horizons when you see different perspectives?
Absolutely, that's very enriching and like both professionally and personally as well. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you. So I think that this we are on the right track while sharing this message to the people, because this is something that enriches us fully. And when the company feels that they are ready to go globally, they are stronger, they are more innovative, they are more creative, they can bring new ideas into the markets, and they can really bring value to the market. So that's why, yeah, once we start talking about going into the new markets, need to build our own, let's say, step-by-step plans. And the most important steps that I have seen from my experience, and this slide I created by myself, basically, this is my rough draft on every market, let's say, strategy. So as soon as I need to go somewhere, I start with very, very simple answer to myself. Am I ready to enter in the new market? So what I want to share with everyone across the world is that you cannot expect great outcomes from your communication abroad if you haven't done very simple steps at the very beginning. And the very first step is to identify if you are fully ready for going abroad. Maybe your company organizational culture is not ready for that. Probably there are some other reasons that do not allow you, like resources, your lack of language, lack of mindset. I would say there is no global mindset of ready. There are no support basically from the company in order to start discovering new horizons, because you are stuck in the in this existing model of cooperation and communication. So going for export and selling something abroad and communicating something abroad, it's about abilities to adapt, to learn, and be very attentive listener, basically being active listener. And that fact that you are engaged in the process, you want to understand with full empathy what happens on that side and why this market is behaving like this, why my business partners are not answering to me, not like this is an obstacle, but this is an opportunity to, so that every single difference what appears on every single phase of this development will be opportunity for you rather than the risk. So that's why mindful global sales is my, let's say, invention that I want to share with everyone, saying that we need to be stay mindful on our own position first and then go abroad and then start discussing together in the company, understanding where we want to sell, what type of value we are bringing, how we localize, whom we sell, and finally, how. So the communication phase is the how, is number 5. So, and this actually explains why we need to do this analysis before in order to start communicating. What you need to do when you start selling across the cultures? First of all, you need to understand that, yes, I am ready to see potential even where there is no potential, right? So to be very optimistic, but at the same time pretty realistic. So in case if you want to go, let's say, to Swedish market, but you see that the Swedish market is too slow for you, it's not ready to accept your product right now, but it will be ready to accept it after 5 years, then don't be, let's say, misled by that, but see more opportunities out of that. So, okay, you have 5 years to build relationships, to build your stable strategy, build trust, and then you can fully launch your product. So, is it acceptable for you? Or it's not acceptable for you? Are you ready to invest 5 years in the development process in communication? And so, or you are looking for a fast simple result. So this is about mindfulness in terms of growing and going and communicating across, understanding the cultures, ready to understand other values, right? So once you are focused on the values of, let's say, Swedish, Eastern European, Western European business owner, then what are the buyer values for them? Is it like individual values or they are collectivistic values? Do they really appreciate more collective, let's say, expectations rather than their own targets? Like Americans, they are more focused on their own results, on their own achievements, rather than on Asian markets where you need to talk about governmental, society values, collective values. So once you are ready to be into that dialogue and be engaged with that dialogue, be more attentive, the more trust you gain from the cultures. So basically, this is about communication. And the answer to my question then, why we are not heard in the market, what would be your answer. Can you write it in the chat? Why we are not heard in the markets, why we are misunderstood in the new markets, why we are not accepted sometimes in the new market once we come with some kind of announcement, message in the media, let's say, or somewhere else in client propositions, why we sometimes are misled with wrong perception. What is the reason of this wrong perception? Yeah, Gunta, exactly. We might have different language, not like physically language, but maybe we speak different signals, different codes. We are not using the same concepts. Yeah, so we need to be clear whether we are talking about the same. Are we on the same page, basically? As you can see from the picture, then yes, every single piece of information that you give can be misleading, can bring to some misunderstanding. So, which means that we very often forget about the fact that how we see us is not the same how we are seen from the other side. Yeah, so we proudly can say that my company is well known across the world, well known in Latvia. It's very ecological. It's very, let's say, oriented on Nordic values. And you are telling this to, let's say, to India. Is it the same understanding? Is it like the same Nordic value is translated to India same as yours? How do they see that? So from my experience, when I'm talking to India or to US about Scandinavian products, Scandinavian values, Nordic values, I see a different perception. I see that they take us more like expensive, arrogant, not ready to accept new things, very slow, just because I speak different, let's say, codes. I present them different values rather than what they value most. So, in my perception, what should I do correctly? I should translate the product philosophy into the language that is understood to the different culture, different market, right? Thank you so much for commenting. This is absolutely right. Anita, yes.
Yeah, I have a question. Could you comment uh, the middle one? Your tone or context
Yeah,
could distract from your message.
from your message. Yeah, this is
What's
like
that?
an example how it works in human communication, that every single verbal, non-verbal as well, signs can change and impact the way you are perceived. So tone is non-verbal way of expression, right? So if I speak too low tone, this might be perceived in, let's say, in Spanish culture, they don't like when you speak low tones or you are talking too silently because they feel that you are not trusted, that you are hiding something from them. So that's why, let's say, in Spanish, Italian countries, cultures, we try to raise up our tone and make it louder, make it nicer, more emotional, rather than let's say if I compare it my tone with German tone, it should be very neutral, right? I shouldn't use too many of these nonverbal signs and expressions in order to attract attention. My focus should be on a different value. My focus should be on the context, on the message that I bring. So I should stay neutral. I should stay as much as possible focused on the message rather than on the emotional part of it. And emotions may raise up once it's appropriate time for that. So when relationship phase is established, and now I go to the next phase of communication. So basically, this is a good example of how you are perceived, not only in human discussion and negotiation process, but at the same time when you communicate your product and your let's say your service and your philosophy to the other market, because it should be translated in their local understanding. So one example from my Belgium experience, I was helping Belgium company, Latvian company, to sell bread in Belgium stores. And you know what Belgian clients was telling me? That saying, "Oh, this is very strange flavor of a chocolate." I say, "Why do you take it as chocolate?" because in Belgium, everything brown in small pieces should be chocolate, right? So this is how my philosophy is wrongly translated to the market. So how would be the how the best translation would sound? What do you think? Any ideas how to sell Latvian bread to Belgium client who likes Belgian chocolate? Any ideas?
No. Seems you have to comment. Not so easy.
Yes. Yeah, so imagine, I don't know, you can wrap it, you can sell bread and wrapped in a black chocolate, saying that is it your product gives additional value to existing products. So it makes it even more colorful, more richer. So this is why we should come with mindful approach towards the clients from the other market, thinking, okay, how can I make other product or existing product in the market even more richer, more, let's say, fresh, more, even more tasty than the existing one. So and this is why we need to be very focused on the niche, where we're going to sell, what we're going to sell, and how we're going to sell. So maybe your client is not a big store in Belgium, but maybe your client in it should be a little or small, some kind of boutique restaurant, right, where you can show and present your philosophy in such a way that everyone understands the great value out of it, right? So this is all about communication and misunderstandings, why we should be very cautious about that. So I show you example how in theory we use a cultural comparison. Let's say we have feminine and masculine countries and cultures. From the cultural perspective, we have very different the diversions and the dimensions of the cultures. So feminine cultures do value most family, also life-work balance. They also care about the society, but at the same time, they are very individualistic. So what I see in the most feminine countries, you can see these are the lightest ones, right? Like Sweden, like also some other countries in the north, and these countries and Swedish basically and Norwegian country are the most feminine. What does it mean? That the message that you bring is much more different than what you will use in the masculine country or culture. Let's say if you want to go to very dark masculine country, you need to possess yourself and your product as very on achievements oriented, on power oriented, on results driven. So just see how it all compares in reality. So, for example, Volvo is a Swedish brand. They care about families. They care about life work balance. They are equal. They want to be sustainable. Things like that. So the message of the Volvo is for life, rather than if you compare the other one, the German version, the ultimate driving machine, right? You can see the cultural philosophy, right? How the market perceives the achievement and how achievement is important to them. So thus you can translate message of your product absolutely differently to Swedish culture or to the German culture. Yeah. So similarly, Volkswagen does auto. Yeah, very clear. It shows the strong quality and results. And Chevrolet, it's American brand which shows the freedom. So the more masculine is a culture, the more they are like sorry, more feminine and less masculine. They are free. They don't have strict rules, so they are looking for new opportunities outside what is possible. Be free, go far, right? So this is how you can see the greatest examples of how the brands are translating themselves in the different markets and how they are taken and perceived. So we need to be focused as well on our, let's say, strategy, how to make us heard. So the last phase, as you can remember from that map, was an about how to sell, how to make your segment of a client being your segment, how to come in the market. Either you are using some kind of partnership, or you're doing alone, or you're doing everything alone by yourself. So in some markets where there is collectivistic environment, like Asia, Eastern European countries, Western European, some of the Western, they are more collectivistic, where the power is more important rather than relationships, I would say. Yes, so power is important, which means that you need to look for some kind of a partner there who will help you to enter in the market and to build trusted relationships. Like I started, let's say, going into Turkish market with one Turkish very popular lady in the society, who was helping me to get the right contacts in the market and start establishing my own representation. Same for United Arab Emirates. I couldn't do that myself. I was working and relying on the partner who could translate me all the little details of cultural specifics, so that I know whom I need to focus on, right? So today I want to ask Gunta, what do you think, how we should communicate during this phase, how with using marketing channels, and which marketing channels you suggest start using?
Yeah, well, I totally agree with your
Especially when you
chart,
enter in the
your
new
chart,
markets. Yeah.
and this is just great that you put public relations like one of the top, at least how I perceive it. So obviously, with public relations, you can build trust, you can build like relationship with society using media. So I would
Okay.
gladly tell you
Yeah,
how.
super. Let's dive more into that.
Yeah. Okay, let me share. Okay.
And
So
meanwhile, we
maybe,
are waiting.
yeah.
Yeah, can you just explain what you like most about media? What is like your passion? Why you have chosen public relations as
Yeah.
your
Yeah, I
specialty?
always liked to, to talk to masses, so to say. I like this feeling that you can reach really like every person, and using media, right media, you can really reach each person you want to reach. And yeah, you should allow me to share my screen, and then I will
Yes.
show you in detail how to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, great. Um, yeah, so about me, as I started to tell you about just loving to reach people using media. So my story, my professional story, and this company's UpPR story started from journalism. I have 7 and more years in journalism, starting with at the time most influential business newspaper, Dienas Business, establishing from zero, from the scratch, completely new web portal for biggest television in Latvia, TV3, as well as working in a small but nationwide television league, TV24. So this is my passion. These are my roots. These are media, and as well I worked in PR and marketing and business development with such brands as Mongo Auto, which is a car dealership for these masculine brands, Audi, Volkswagen, as well with the technology brand at the time, the most innovative and one of the biggest smartphone and not only makers, Huawei, and other brands like Abbas Malas, which was central cultural event at Latvia's 100-year celebration, and many different others. That's shortly about me. So my expertise, and I'm glad to help like everyone who is interested with media coverage, communication strategy, as well as brand and image crisis communication, and of course press conferences, events, presentations, and social media, which nowadays can also be considered as one of the tool for building your image and reputation. So this today's topic, new market. As Julia already told, new markets are so different, and you need to really approach them mindfully. And if we talk about the challenges, maybe you guys know, maybe you have worked with media or tried to enter some new markets, or maybe you have some ideas what could be like challenges when you enter the market and you want to approach media and public through media. You can write in the chat or you can just say.
Yeah, I just can quickly share my experience. When I started talking to media in the new markets, I felt like everybody wants to earn something from me, but I'm not sure whether I will get the right knowledge or a message from this media. I was not trusting them, to be honest. They were coming to my events, they were coming to my conferences, presentations, but sometimes I felt that they want to steal something and use it without any control. That's what I felt.
Yeah, I totally understand you, and that is not very rare perception of media for people who are not working closely with media, because it seems something far away from our world, our everyday life, and that could really be a challenge, and that can be also an obstacle of building these true relationship with the journalists, with media. Um, so yeah, that's totally, thank you for sharing. That could be really a challenge. As well as some others is if you like you enter a new market, most likely you didn't know the local language and culture. Okay, you might know the language, but maybe some nuances of how to communicate, etc. Some people, most people actually doesn't know local media. They have no contacts, no warm contacts of these media of the country. Sometimes it's limited time for preparation to talk to media, and most importantly is that local media and public has most likely no knowledge about you. This is some name which they have never heard of before. So that's really a challenge. And let's talk about all the bad things at the beginning, about the mistakes. So what mistakes we can do, it's good to know. We might not put too much time into preparation. Our message many times can be too difficult because we know our product that well that we think that everybody will just understand it easily. Actually, no, usually messages are too difficult. Sending out some invitations to media or some press releases, which are also like translated but not adjusted to be easy understand and in this local language, like with the local wordings, etc. And of course, sometimes we just send some news to all media, which we see, which we can find on Google, and we are not prepared enough. So that's about the bad things. What to do? So what to do to actually to become visible in media in a new market? Very easy steps. Basically, if you follow these steps, most likely your result can get from less visible in media to more visible in the media. So as also Julia told before, that is very important to prepare to invest in localizing your main message and to find just few, not more than 2 or 3 interesting aspects of your message. If you find more than 3 interesting aspects, your focus will be lost and your message might get too difficult. Here I just put an example. Our small Baltic states, Baltic countries, our neighbors, we think we are so similar. We are not. We are similar if we compare to Asia, maybe even to Scandinavia, but even these 3 countries are very different in that things, which nuances you will put, which emphasis you will put when you send out the press release. Of course, we have common values, but even in such small scale, people are different in each countries. And in Latvia, of course, we know that sometimes we are so different in Kurzeme from Latgalia that what about Asia and Europe? Of course, we need to localize and we need to prepare well. The second step, think about your audience. Of course, when you think about your product, you're kind of, you have an idea what could be your client. And basically, your client will be potentially your audience in media. So you can think about this person, like really what this person would like. Let's say an example, I helped a completely new app which is connected with car sharing and mobility to be heard, to be noticed in media. And we thought, okay, these will be people who have smartphones, who are quite mobile, who are traveling either to work or maybe to studies at least once a week. Those might be people who would be interested also just in mobility in weekends with the different cars or motorcycles or different vehicles. So they might be people who are active, maybe younger, and maybe technology oriented. So we already have a little like profile of our potential audience. And from that, we choose the channels where we can meet these people. Is it traditional media? Meaning so not social media, but newspapers, web portals, television, radio, or maybe we should focus just on this social media part. Is these media national wide? So national wide are all media with whom we can reach the wider public, like, for example, a television or radio news, or maybe this media will be specialized in business or maybe in culture. More visual or more textual. So this is how we choose our channels. It's simply like we go on the street, we see so different people, grannies, young mothers, businessmen and women, and these people use, of course, different media. And before we dive deeper, go further, a little step into these channels, like Julia said about this not really trusting the media, that might be because of here, yeah, because of not knowing this like difference between paid like paid visibility in media and not paid or organic visibility in media. If we talk about PR, we only talk about organic reach, meaning that we don't pay to media. And journalists are just interested in this product or company, and they are just writing about this product themselves without paying. And another part is paid advertorial. Basically, you can buy any slot, not any, but which is meant for advertorials, and you can put any story, of course, ethical and according to media guidelines, but you can put any story in magazine that will be marked as advertorial. Everybody will know that it's paid, maybe paid partnership or advertorial, and because that will be just honest. You can publish all the aspects you want about your product. You can avoid any criticism, but the disadvantages is that, yes, that is a paid thing. The reach usually is smaller because people, readers, not really like these advertorials. Usually, probably when you look at the newspaper, you see, oh, advertorial, okay, let's skip this part. Let's read something more interesting. That's why it's not, you need to really think, is this money worth the reach which you will gain? And it's simply also because of that sometimes this content is less interesting than an article which is written by journalists, because journalist is serving their client and their client is a reader, not the company or not the one who wants just to sell something. And that's why this is this organic reach.
Yeah.
Which
Can I
usually,
ask you?
yeah,
Yeah. Gunta, I thought
please.
maybe it's you can give some idea how to segmentize, like for which clients, for which companies you think that organic is the best way to be promoted, and for paid channels, then which company is more categorized for this. So maybe
Yeah.
there is some kind of segmentation. So
Mm-hmm.
our audience can already think like which solution could be more relevant to them.
Yeah. It is always it's always better first go for organic reach because it just has bigger impact and higher reach. But you can use all the companies. It doesn't matter which niche the company is working in. You can use paid editorials when you see that, okay, this message will not be published. For example, if you just simply sell a phone, but it has no innovation, it's totally not interesting with anything for a
Yeah.
journalist, but you still want that somebody sees this advertorial, then you just pay for some newspaper and they will publish. So if your product is interesting enough, or if you can make this interesting enough, because I believe also that any product can have some aspects which are interesting to journalists, but if you cannot get this reach organically,
Yeah.
you pay, and then you will at least get some visibility, at least also of course it's advertorial is different, but it works also on SEO. If you look for example in Google for some company, at least there will be advertorial where you can read about this company. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
especially if it is a new market where you don't know anything. Basically, what you need to start to do, as far as I understand, you need just to find what people are reading in this market.
yeah.
What, let's say, if you are selling something related to healthcare, for example, then
Mm-hmm.
what will be the best scenario where they need to look for the media and how they need to
Mm-hmm.
establish
Yeah.
relationships with that media?
Yeah, I will go in that just in one slide. So basically, yeah, I will answer right now about how to look for these media if you are completely new to the market. Before we jump to that, I just wanted to note that make also your message very simple and very easy to get so that any media would understand, not only specialized, for example, medical equipment or any niche media, but any nationwide media, make the message simple so that this little boy, this 8-year-old uh, guy would understand the message. And then you can be sure that everyone will understand the message. And then you choose these key media and you can, if you don't have a partner in this new market, which would be the best case scenario, you have a local partner or an agency which is helping you to do that. You can simply Google the biggest media, let's say in German market, and find 15-20 media in this market. Then look those which are more relevant to your product. For example, Julia, can you remind me what was your example
Healthcare, for
for
example,
healthcare?
some kind of
Yes.
healthcare. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that could be probably interested for nationwide media because health is something what is relevant to anybody, plus specialized media. Uh, find 5 most important, most relevant media and try to work with them. Find contacts, journalists who are writing specifically about that healthcare aspect you are uh, selling or promoting. And by sending this personal message to the journalist who already wrote about these issues, there is a much higher possibility that you will get visible in this media. And even if you will not get visible by that person, will not write, that person can suggest you somebody. So this is better
Mm-hmm.
how to use your contacts. And very simply, you do all these steps, and then you can lay back and enjoy the results. Hopefully, that would be
Yeah.
that would be it about how to. And just I wanted to share with you just a short example. This is a bit different from such like healthcare or any uh, like such product, but basically this could be applied to any product launch if we talk about the media. First is that you prepare when you did all these 5 steps. Step by step, you found your audience, your channels, you made your message very, very simple. You found the right contacts. Then you can start to work further. And before you send out the press release, which many people think is the main PR product, we send out press releases. Yes, we do. But before we do that, which is here, we like warm up the society, the media, by creating waiting lists, by doing a little bit of influencer marketing involving Instagram or TikTok in this case, because this was an example from new application for people who just like to eat very nice breakfasts. Before you send out press release, you communicate with very few selected media and like exclusively with them. Maybe in 1 or 2 media, you can already publish pre-launch some story to warm up all the media in total, you know. Then you do the launch according to what your product is. In this case, very nice, luxurious breakfast with a presentation with featured journalists and influencers. Then you follow up. You can extend this event with the breakfast week in the hotels or breakfast month in the hotels to still talk about this event. You also already can start work with press releases, but also you cannot. You can just continue your communication, and then you send out like the press release, photos, videos, and summarize the results. So basically, what I wanted to tell that many times we just open some newspaper. And we see, oh, this is some new application launched or some new product arrived, and we think this is the PR, just this press release. Basically, you need to do much work, which is not that visible, which is not this release which you see as a result.
Yeah. The most important here that I want to emphasize as well, don't be misunderstood with all this communication. So this is what we started at the very beginning, that you make yourself clear and sure that the message that you bring through all these activities is very much in line with culture and the market and their values. And then definitely you need someone, most probably, who will help you locally to adapt the message, because once you are writing press releases, make sure that this is written by someone local, right? Do you think so, Gunta? Because I imagine that if I write it here for German market, it would be different perception rather than if someone from Germany writes it for German market, isn't it?
Absolutely. I have seen also in my work experience that sometimes you look at the text, it's kind of okay. It's written like a good story, but it's not really well perceived because some nuances are missing. You can translate it nicely, but you need to put those right emphasis. You need to use right wording that like ticks for the culture, so to say.
Exactly,
so yeah, it's very much about localization. And yeah, just to wrap everything up about this entering new markets, basically, yeah, you can get from zero knowledge about your company to approximately 30 publications in the new market, which is a lot, but you need to look at all those steps which were mentioned before. Yeah.
Super. Thank you so much, Gunta. I think this is super valuable because for me it was always hesitation to talk and how to talk with media. I don't trust them. Sometimes I was doing everything by myself just because I think it's better than if I give it to someone from media. But now you're giving us more, let's say, confidence in that. So thank you very much that this is trusted the way how to do the things.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we can just wrap up and quickly summarize. Then, what do you think? What is like most important here? What we need to do in order to be heard in the market? First of all, I see that we need to start to be very sure about understanding the values and the cultures, like what is accepted and what is familiar. Like when I enter in Swedish or Spanish market, I want to understand what is accepted. Is like personal space yeah, respect to personal space is accepted and familiar, or it's absolutely opposite. There should be very close relationships, emotional contact, and the way how you give the message also should be in line with those values, right? Then I see that it's really important to have strategy behind. It's not only you go and shout somewhere, because you will lose money, you will lose time, you will lose also a lot of opportunities if you don't do the preparation well and you don't spend time on proactive research, where I can help you that with going through all the stages, and Gunta can help you with those, understanding how to engage and cooperate with media so that you really get right tools in hand. But before you do that, you need really well established sales strategy, go-to-market strategy. And my, of course, suggestion: be active listener, keep investigating, keep asking questions, and cooperate together with your marketing team, PR team, together if you have such teams, or you do everything by yourself. Then have a good strategy with step-by-step realistic approach, being very much focused on the market values and cultural differences, right? Any questions maybe here? What would you like offer to audience? What do you think, something new that you have heard in regards to media here, or in regards to communication in the new markets? Mitya, Anita, can you just give us a little feedback? Like, what's something that caught your attention that you would like to understand a little bit better?
Yeah.
Or Zanda? Yeah.
Basically, the one of the things is, which is, I believe is really important, is the first to find a good partner in the new market, because
Exactly.
he basically helping you to reduce every expenses and nerves. Why? You know the market, you know the culture, you know the language. Without
Yes,
us, know this, it's really difficult and dangerous enter in any market. Okay,
absolutely.
so
Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
basically
Yeah,
the
it
rest,
just depends. Yeah.
the rest really like it what you said.
Mm-hmm. Super. Yeah, from my experience, I see that in some markets, like very sensitive markets, as let's say Eastern European, I need partner all the time, from the very beginning till now. Yeah, so all the contracts I signed in Turkey, they are still working. All contracts I signed in Dubai, they are still working, because I cannot do anything by myself there directly. But there are markets where I entered, like in European countries, like Netherlands, France, Spain. I entered with representation with some kind of a partner, with agreement that until certain moment we can do that together, and then you give us all the rights to continue directly. So there should be a good alignment between the partner agreements. So that's why I'm also sharing that in my courses, helping companies to figure out which partnership model is best, let's say. Since I have established so many representations all around the world, I know how things work and what we need to take into account when we look for the right partner, because there are many things that we need to pay attention to, not to lose time also on the wrong partner, right? Or to the wrong partnership model. So that's one of the things that we need to take into consideration for sure. So thank you
Okay,
so much. Just to, yeah, thanks.
okay. This subject is
Yeah,
really important and really deep. It will be good to make him in the live, not in the webinar.
absolutely. We need to go and do it in live. Thank you, Mitya. And this is why I'm inviting you to join bootcamp that I'm organizing to entrepreneurs, those who want to build their business strategy, sales strategy to specific market with very mindful step-by-step approach, where I give very clear guidelines every week. We have one session where we learn what to do, how to do. We cooperate with each other. We help each other with tips and tricks and ideas. And until we get to the final ready-made go-to-market strategy, where you have the ready action plan, you understand very well your niche, you understand your activities, you understand the way to communicate, how to make decisions, how to negotiate, you know, everything based on these practical 4 weeks plus 2 weeks where I involve clients also to exchange and sharpen their strategy with experts. Like, for example, Gunta was invited here. There can be other experts that you need in order to enrich your experience, since we have a great network of different industry experts as well as digital marketing experts. Anyone can bring additional value to this strategy, especially if you want to start launch it, let's say now. Basically, after 1 month, you are ready to launch your new strategy in absolutely new unknown market with very mindful approach. So once you are interested, is it Scandinavia or any other specific market, come back to me. I will gladly talk to you separately on that, and we can then build something really incredible together, a go-to-market plan with very confident selling and marketing activities, and you have support and you have all the tools in hand. So if you are interested, feel free to join me for the separate call. And once again, thank you so much for your attention. I really hope you have spent this time usefully. A great applause to you, first of all, for being with us. Thank you. This was amazing, amazing audience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Gunta, thanks to you. This was an amazing experience, and looking forward for great close cooperation.
Thank you all, Julia and Gunta. It was very, very nice to see you, and also just to give some ideas how to organize your thoughts.